This is our second try at this video. We have tried before and it did not go well, so we're going to run through IU's 76-73 victory over Penn State really quick.
How quick?
Real quick. All right, IU moved to 13-4 on the season by grace of about half a second, where Penn State actually did make their game-tying three-point attempt at the buzzer, but it was deemed too late by the officials. I think we all kind of knew that it got off too late. Even Penn State coach Pat Chambers said he knew it was too late. But this was a much different lineup for IU. This was the third different lineup that IU has started the game with this season, because today it was announced that Hanner Mosquera-Perea, who has started all 16 games for IU, suffered an injury to his right knee in practice yesterday and is out indefinitely. Now, we've seen speculation that is 2 to 4 weeks, but IU hasn't made an announcement. We asked Tom Crean today, and he said that he couldn't give any further update on his knee. He's a big guy. It takes big guys a lot of time to recover from things like that. But we saw Crean go with Colin Hartman, who is not a center, to try to replace him. That didn't work. We saw Crean go with Emmett Holt, who is not a center, to try to replace him. That didn't work. We saw him go with Max Hotzel, who is not a center, to try to replace him, and that didn't work. Eventually, what he got down to was walk-on transfer Ryan Burton, who spent the last 2 seasons playing at Bellarmine or Bellarmine. We have argued about how to pronounce that before, and we're still not quite sure.
Bellarmine.
Bellarmine.
Bellarmine. No.
Anyway, Ryan Burton comes into the game with a little under 13 minutes to go. The score is tied at 51, and he is the spark. He was the spark in this game that kind of led IU to be able to pull this out. IU had pulled in 1 offensive rebound in the game before Ryan Burton came in. When he left, they had pulled in 6. He pulled in 3 of those by himself. When he left the game, IU had gone on an 18-8 run, and they took a 10-point lead. And from there, it wasn't smooth sailing, but from there, 10 points proved to be too much.
It did, and part of the reason why it did prove to be too much was that Penn State really wasn't scoring as well in the second half. I think they shot 47.3% in this game. No, 47.3%. But Indiana did a great job of containing the Big Ten's leading scorer, DJ Newbill, who came in today averaging, I think, 21.3 points per game, 21.5, somewhere around there, which was the most by 2.5 points per game. But Indiana limited him to 12 points today and only 2 points in the second half. He shot 1 of 6. And in that last critical stretch, where Penn State was trying to gain the momentum back at the end, he actually was designed to have the ball in his hands. He was supposed to take that last shot, and he fumbled the ball away thanks to Indiana's defense. How Indiana did that, it was a mix of what you'd expect in Yogi Ferrell, Indiana's best two-way defender, or two-way player.
I think he's probably the best defensive guard in the Big Ten and one of the best defensive guards in the country.
I think no doubt. And I think truly Indiana's second best defensive guard is the other guy that was guarding him, Stanford Robinson. Stan didn't just only score a ton of points. He had 12 today, and a kind of comeback game for him. But he also did guard much of DJ Newbill throughout the day. Newbill had 6 points in a 6-0 stretch in the first half, where most of that was in transition. That's how he likes to score. But in the half court, when Indiana was just setting up its defense, you beat me, he wasn't beating Indiana. And Tom Crean mentioned that was critical, that was crucial. It was. If you limit the other Big Ten's leading scorer, Penn State doesn't honestly have very much else to lean on. So that was key for Indiana today.
Yeah, you talked about Stanford Robinson's defense on DJ Newbill. He also had a pretty good game offensively, considering how he's played so far this year. Kind of got back into the rotation, played 17 minutes, which is more than he's played on average this year, and had 12 points. And probably most importantly, no turnovers. We saw another game where Indiana didn't turn the ball over, and it produced a win. But Stan was a big part of that. He's not one of the best players in the country, and he's not even probably one of the best players in the team. He's kind of getting there, but he does have. I think he has one of the best first steps in the country, and his ability to just get around defenders and get to the hoop. His finishing is still kind of a work in progress. I think he's getting better, but as long as he keeps improving on that, he'll stay in the rotation. And Tom Crean said that tonight, that if Stan plays like he did tonight, he'll keep getting minutes, and he'll stay an important part of this team.
Yeah, that's the book on Stanford Robinson. If 22 gets the ball, back up. He can't shoot. He doesn't even know which hand he's shooting with. Yeah, he made 6 of 6 free throws tonight. He shot them with his left hand. We asked him after the game, why are you shooting with his left hand? And he said, feels better. So I'm not really sure what Stanford Robinson's deal is, but he looked like freshman year Stanford Robinson, and because he had regressed since the suspension. Tom Crean has said before that maybe he didn't recover quite as quickly as Troy Williams did from the suspension earlier in the year. Maybe he didn't, you know, blend back in with the team and accept his role in the rotation. But he has. He's come out and he's not starting anymore. He's not the sixth man. He's not the second guy off the bench. But he's putting in important minutes.
He might be the second guy off the bench now.
He might be the second guy off the bench
Well, that's the
now.
thing. Crean talked about it, well, now 2 days ago, yesterday or whatever. So he doesn't care what his lineup is. He's talked about that. He's going to just pull the trigger whenever he feels the need to. And right now, he's been pulling the trigger, and when he gets to Stan, he stops. And he goes, now it's working. And if Stan can keep that up, he will be. He's too good of a defender to not play as long as his offense can be somewhat okay. And we'll see if he fixes that whole mental left and right hand just shenanigans he's going through right now.
Yeah, that's weird.
So weird.
Anyway, the win moves IU to 13-4 on the season, moves them to 3-1 in the Big Ten, and we will see them next on the floor in Champaign, Illinois on Sunday. We will be there where they will be taking on the Fighting Illini of Illinois in a game where people always yell at each other and people always get sworn at, and Illinois and Indiana hate each other. And I think it's really one of the underrated rivalries in the Big Ten where people don't quite realize how much Illinois and Indiana hate each other. So I'm really looking forward to be there.
I'm looking forward. It's a great stadium. Their assembly hall is fantastic. It's old.
State Farm Center now?
I don't know what it's called.
Fake assembly hall.
Kendrick Lamar performs there now and stuff. So like that's cool. That'll be fun. Another road trip. Indiana will be able to test itself away from home, which is fun if we learn anything from the Nebraska game.
They will still be without Hanner Mosquera-Perea as they go into that game, and for at least 2 weeks and the foreseeable future.
Probably more than that.
Probably more than that. In the meantime, read our stuff on idsnews.com. Pick up a paper in newsstands tomorrow, and we will see you on Sunday.